chase had barely begun when the horizon itself seemed to collapse. Ahead, a monstrous black curtain stretched across the sky. Not storm clouds, not fog, but a towering wall of dust. In Arabic, they call it a haboob, a dust demon, born from the outflow of supercell storms. In seconds, daylight was gone. The sky turned to midnight. Winds howled like 1,000 screams. Dirt slammed against the windshield and rain of pebbles stung the glass. "Shut the windows! Lock it down! It's here!" someone shouted inside the chase vehicle. The world outside was swallowed whole. No horizon, no landmarks, just a suffocating darkness grinding everything into shadow. For storm chasers, this was no ordinary scene. It was the opening shot of Hell Week, a signal that the road ahead held only destruction and fear. When the dust finally cleared eastward, the group emerged shaken. Trees snapped, roofs stripped bare, power lines torn down, and this, they realized, was only day one. The next day brought them to Colorado. Radar glowed with promise, a young supercell east of Bennett crawling toward Yuma. Conditions were perfect, rotation, instability, the smell of tornadic birth thick in the air. Inside the chase cars, excitement boiled. Eyes locked on radar screens painted in crimson and purple. "It's tightening! Hold position," one shouted. Cameras rolled, tripods ready. Overhead, the storm sculpted itself into a classic supercell, a swirling fortress of cloud with lightning tearing at its heart. Every sign screamed, a tornado is imminent. And then, nothing. The wall cloud unraveled. Rotation bled away. The sky that had promised terror dissolved into grey emptiness. The storm, once a beast in the making, was dead. Silence filled the car. After hours of pursuit, after miles of desperate driving, all they had was disappointment. One chaser cursed under his breath, "We waited all day for this." But storm chasing is a gambler's game. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose everything to a fickle sky. Tonight, they rested in Lincoln, Nebraska, radar models screaming of an even bigger day ahead. Iowa would not disappoint. It would deliver a monster. Morning broke with heavy air. Pressure dropping, atmosphere boiling, the sky itself trembling. Iowa was primed. Every forecast, every model agreed this would be a tornadic outbreak. On the way, the team stopped at Minden, Iowa, a town shredded by an EF-3 just a month earlier. The scars were everywhere. Trees cut to splinters, brick walls toppled like toys, roofs gone, families rebuilding with nothing but plywood and hope. An old woman sweeping rubble outside her broken porch looked up and asked quietly, "Another storm coming?" No one answered. They all knew the radar already screamed yes. By 2:30 p.m., their screens lit up blood red. A massive supercell was tightening southwest of Carbon, Iowa. On the horizon, clouds churned with terrifying precision. The lowering dark base twisted, then dropped a cone. Gasps filled the vehicle. There it is, a massive tornado forming right now. The monster touched down, a swirling wall of death carving into the earth. Iowa's reckoning had arrived, and the storm chasers were charging headfirst into the path of a beast that could level entire towns in minutes. The sky collapsed into chaos. Out of the rotating wall cloud, the monster revealed itself. Not a narrow funnel, but a wedge tornado, wider than the town itself, a rolling wall of black consuming the horizon. "God, it's massive," someone shouted. The chase vehicle skidded to a halt on the highway shoulder. Cameras shook as the colossal vortex roared across the fields, a grinding leviathan of dust and debris. The sound was like a freight train, but deeper, angrier, the earth itself screaming. At 50 miles per hour, the tornado charged northeast, straight for Carbon, Iowa. The team had seconds to decide, flee or go for the shot of a lifetime. "Hold position, we're intercepting." They gunned the engines, maneuvering south and east, threading through country roads as the wedge bore down. Debris rained from the sky, shingles, wood, entire tree limbs. A powash lit the horizon as the storm ripped through transmission lines. And then they saw it. The tornado, fully condensed, crossing directly in front of them, its base wider than a football field, its top vanishing into the boiling clouds. A living nightmare. "This is it. The closest we'll ever be to death," one whispered, voice trembling. But they kept rolling. Cameras captured every second. For a few breathless minutes, they were inside the jaws of the beast. The Iowa wedge finally roared off into the distance, chewing through farmland and vanishing into the murky horizon. The team exhaled, hearts still pounding. They thought the worst was over. They were wrong. To the southeast, another circulation was spinning up fast. Within minutes, a new tornado dropped, aimed directly at the town of Greenfield, Iowa. The chasers glimpsed it briefly on their dashcams, a fleeting silhouette against the clouds, before it swallowed the town whole. When they arrived, the aftermath was unspeakable. Houses shredded, cars overturned, power poles tangled like twigs. The tornado had taken its aim and struck mercilessly. Days later in Oklahoma, frustration returned. A gorgeous tornadic supercell spun over the plains, but the team was just minutes too late. They arrived as the rope-out stage crossed the highway, the last twirling gasp of a tornado already dying. They filmed what they could, but inside, the sting of being just behind fate was unbearable. This is the paradox of storm chasing. Sometimes you are too close for comfort, other times forever one step behind. And every miss makes the next chase even more desperate. May 25th, nightfall. Oklahoma skies boiling with menace. Radar screamed of another circulation, this one barreling toward Claremore, just northeast of Tulsa. The team parked near I-44, headlights cutting the darkness, cameras straining to capture what they couldn't see with their own eyes. And then, lightning illuminated the monster. A fully formed EF3 tornado ripping through the town in complete darkness. Power flashes exploded like bombs, painting the night in eerie blue light. "Oh my God, it's hitting Claremore!" They floored the gas, racing north as the twister chewed through the KOA campground, tossing cars, snapping trees, demolishing buildings. Debris slammed the roads. Power lines fell, sparking dangerously close to their convoy. Inside the vehicles, adrenaline was pure terror. Every crack of thunder was deafening. Every flash of lightning revealed the silhouette of a nightmare too close for comfort. "Back up! Back up! We're in its path." For long minutes, they threaded the line between survival and annihilation. The tornado raged past, barely half a mile from their location, before finally lifting eastward. When daylight came, the truth was laid bare. Claremore's center shredded, homes gutted, streets buried in rubble. The team realized what they had survived, a direct brush with death itself.